A full interesting story of two beautiful sisters. Title: In Love with the Same Man. Akua and Amma were two beautiful sisters who lived in a small village surrounded by lush green forests and a winding river. They were incredibly close, sharing secrets, laughter, and dreams. However, their bond was put to the test when they both fell deeply in love with the same man, Kofi. Kofi was a handsome and charming stranger who had recently arrived in the village. He was kind, hardworking, and had a quick wit that won over the hearts of many. Akua, the elder sister, was the first to meet Kofi, and she was immediately smitten. She introduced him to her sister Amma, and to her surprise, Amma fell for him just as hard. As time passed, the sisters found themselves competing for Kofi's attention. They would dress up in their finest clothes, cook his favorite meals, and try to outdo each other in their attempts to win his heart. The rivalry between them grew stronger, and their once unbreakable bond began to fray. One day, the sisters decided to confront each other about their feelings. They met in secret by the river, their emotions raw and their words laced with pain. "Why do you have to fall in love with him too?" Akua asked, her voice trembling. "I couldn't help it," Amma replied, tears streaming down her face. "I love him just as much as you do." The sisters stood there, the tension between them palpable. They knew they couldn't keep going on like this, but neither was willing to give up on Kofi. It was then that they decided to take drastic measures. They would meet Kofi by the river at sunset, and he would choose which sister he wanted to be with. The other would leave the village forever, never to return. The day of the meeting arrived, and the sisters stood nervously by the river, waiting for Kofi to arrive. When he finally appeared, they both felt their hearts skip a beat. But just as Kofi was about to make his choice, a wise old man appeared out of nowhere. He was dressed in traditional robes, and his eyes twinkled with wisdom. "Wait," he cried, his voice commanding attention. "Do not make this choice, Kofi. For I have a secret to reveal that will change everything." The sisters exchanged curious glances, and Kofi looked at the old man in confusion. "What secret?" Kofi asked. The old man smiled, his eyes sparkling with mischief. "Kofi, you are not who you think you are," he began. "You are, in fact, the long-lost brother of Akua and Amma." The sisters gasped in shock, their minds reeling with the implications. Kofi looked stunned, as if he had been punched in the gut. The old man continued, explaining that Kofi had been separated from his sisters at birth, and that he had been living in a neighboring village all these years. As the truth sank in, the sisters felt their rivalry melt away, replaced by a deep sense of joy and wonder. They had found their long-lost brother, and nothing else mattered. The three siblings hugged each other tightly, tears of happiness streaming down their faces. From that day on, they were inseparable, and their bond grew stronger with each passing day. And as for Kofi, he finally felt like he had found his true home, surrounded by the sisters he never knew he had. The end. Click on the following bottom and give me a follow. Follow Lisa Lito or Jessie's Local Food Kitchen.